Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. It's Luke here. Last home game of the season, and Mark Noble's sadly last home game ever as a West Ham United player. How quickly time has gone in that man's career. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, last game of the season, we've still got a lot to play for. There's still a huge chance of finishing sixth this season. Whatever the result is in this game, there will still be a chance to finish sixth. But obviously, if we get some sort of result, a draw, then it's in our own hands. But if we lose, obviously we've got to rely on Palace to do Manchester United. In terms of Man City, we know what a fantastic club they are, and there's always seems to be quite a good affiliation between our fan bases, the Carlos Tevez stuff, to name one thing. But yeah, it always seems to be quite a nice affiliation, probably because their fans appreciate that they come to our ground and give us an absolute hiding nearly all the time. Really good team. They looked fantastic the other night against Wolves, which was a really good result for us. Kevin De Bruyne, I don't know how many times I've said it on this channel, my favourite player in the Premier League, without a doubt. He's just sensational, just what he can do with a football. And 3 left foot goals, and then a 4th as well, just ridiculous. He is such a talent, super talented player. They do have some worries though. Laporte is out for them. And there is doubt over Ruben Diaz as well. Really both top centre backs. John Stones is obviously out as well. The rumour is that it will probably be Rodri and Nathan Ake at the back. Again, they're not bad defenders. Listen, I wouldn't have minded West Ham signing Nathan Ake a couple of years ago, but it's not their top thing. With Man City, you need a bit of luck and you need to be on your game. Slightly under strength in terms of their defensive line. So again, it gives you a glimmer, and that's all sometimes what you need in games like this. With their fullbacks, with Zinchenko, he's had a good season. Again, another one of my favourite players will be playing at right back. He's been playing left and right all season. João Cancelo, wonderful footballer. Another one, what he can do with football. You see him turning up in midfield, right wing, left wing, across, even in the number 10 position in the Man United game a couple of months ago. Really top player. But yep, Kyle Walker's out as well, but Cancelo, can do a job anywhere in that team. Apart from that, their front bit is, more or less okay. Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Sterling, Mahrez, all capable of a goal. Jesus in there as well. It's going to be a tough game. They're going to have the ball for a long time in the game. They're still going, gun-ho for that Premier League. And probably this game, if they were to win this game, it probably would wrap up the title for them, barring an absolute disaster in the last game. Like I say, there's going to be long patches where we don't see the ball. You know what it's like, the plat around it. In that game at the Etihad, actually, in the snow, it was really fascinating to watch. Obviously, you could see the path of the ball because it was following the snow, and it just shows how good they are. And it's just, they're a credit to the league and a really fantastic football team. But in the last game against them at the London Stadium, we did beat them. It took penalties, but we have got a win over them this season. So again, there's something of a bit of a, mentally for us. We've beaten Liverpool, beaten Chelsea at home at the London Stadium this season. So, we shouldn't be fearing anyone. We've had a good rest. And the Norwich game was just what we needed, I think. After the heartbreak of the Frankfurt game, the Norwich game just, what we needed. We needed a little workout, get some goals, get the confidence back in a few players. Obviously, we're a little bit, again, not fully fit potentially. Antonio went off injured. I don't know what news there is out there. Ben Rama probably will miss this game. His one looked really bad, didn't it, the ankle. But it should be more or less okay with the team we put out. Bowen's fully on fire. Listen, it's a bit of a free hit. Like I say, Mark Noble's last game, absolute, will be a real occasion and probably an emotional one. I'm not sure whether I assume they've got something with a few of the players that might have played with him on the day. Probably loads of messages going around, and if and when he does come on in the game, I assume there'll be some tears shed in that stadium. A true servant to the club. And you know, when me and Paul can get together and do a podcast, we'll discuss it a bit more about what he means to the club. And I hope he is back. You know, he's saying about taking a few months off, see his family, which is, you know, fair dues. You know, but yeah, I hope he is back and in and around the club. He's what he does off the field. I think sometimes is more important than what he's done on the field for West Ham. You know, he's played in some big games. He's put in some good performances. But what he does off the club with the young players and the way he, you know, carries himself as a professional and a man is something that I think Moyes will definitely want around there. You know, he loves those guys, the Stuart Pearces, the Kevin Nolans, big leaders, characters, and you know, Mark Noble fits in that role, and he's West Ham as well. You know, he's a proper West Ham. He's proper Mr. West Ham. It's gonna be emotional one tomorrow. Whether that be the last ever appearance of him, or will he make some sort of appearance in the Brighton game, I don't know, or will that be like the final curtain call will be when he when and if he comes on in the Man City game. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because if we're in the game, you know, it's, you know, hitting that sort of 75, 80 minutes, do you bring him on? It's one of them that does emotion override the fact that the result could be such an important one. And I know Mark Noble has said it himself, you know, don't just play me for the emotion, you know, this is about West Ham. So it'd be very interesting to see how the game plays out. You know, if we are in it, which you never know, it'd be an interesting one. I think where we can hurt them, potentially, if we do hurt them, is our set pieces. If our set pieces are on point, you know, with Rodri playing at centre back, you know, he is a bit of a loss in their midfield. He's the one who, you know, renowned for doing those little naughty tackles, those little last ditch ones that just not enough for a booking, but break the play up. So that's where we can get some set pieces, and hopefully, you know, Big Dulce or whoever can chip in with a goal or two at the weekend. Big battles in midfield: Foden, Rice, Soucek. I really like Lanzini in midfield. The other day, the fact that Soucek was given a bit of a rest was good. Sofal's in for a good, tough test. You know, whoever's running down that side, and the same with Cresswell. If it's Mahrez, you know, Mahrez is one of the most trickiest players down in the Premier League down that side. So it's going to be a tough game. My heart says we might be able to get a draw in this one. Just might, because of the emotion, might get us over it. Again, it's back to that thing of if you concede early against City, it is most likely going to be an absolute, you know, pummeling of, you know, 3-4s or even 5s. We haven't had that done to us this season, really. We haven't had a real good hiding, and I hope that is the case. And it's a classic West Ham line, this, that I've used, you know, my whole life. Is we're due one. We're due a win. We're due another one of these big wins against one of these big, like, blue ribbon clubs, and maybe it will come at the weekend. Like I say, head says maybe a 2. Heart says maybe a 2-2, but my head says 3-1 loss. Again, still will be in it in the last game of the season. We just would then have to hope that Palace do us a favour as well, which I think on their day Palace can beat anyone. They're a good side. But let's not overlook Brighton as well. Brighton's going to be a tough game for us. Anyway, I've gone off on a massive tangent at the end there. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you are going to the game, you know, enjoy it. Enjoy, you know, the celebration of a player that has give everything for West Ham. Because you look around the club and who is the next one, we don't know. When will another one like that come again? I don't know. Maybe not in my lifetime. You know, where you get a Billy Bonds, a Trevor Brooking, a Redknapp, etc., a Lampard, you know, who, you know, are true and stay with the club forever. I can't see where that comes again, but we will see. It's very hard in the Premier League to do that. Anyway, guys, until next time, come on, you irons. Thank you for staying so loyal this season. One more to go after this one, but we'll be, you know, all the way through the summer with transfer news or anything you want to, videos wise. Again, if you've got any ideas for videos, drop it in the comments. We read every comment, and you know we read every comment because I'll, you know, give everyone a little love art. Anyway, come on, you irons. Keep believing. Let's go.